may know, in my own day, we were having just a little bit of trouble on that very subject, being united. We were just the opposite. We were divided into two. Perhaps I should say divided into two, north and south. In fact, I had a speech on that subject. I should have to read it to you. If I could just find it. Now, I wonder where I might have left that speech of mine. And I had. There. Sorts of letters and speeches, things kind. You must still keep notes in your hat today. Well, this was a speech I gave in about the middle of our terrible Civil War. Well, I was asked to give a few appropriate remarks on a very special occasion, and this is what I said. 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation, or any nation so conceived and so dedicated, can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note, nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. Well, there's a bit more to this speech, but we'll save that for later. Now, I dare say I just said the world will little note nor long remember what we say here. Some of you seem to recognize those words. Is that true? Do you know where that speech was given? Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. That's right. There'd been a great battle there in Gettysburg in July of 63 and 1863, you understand it. And we come there some 5 months later to dedicate a cemetery for the men who had died there. Now, those ideas I spoke about in that speech at the beginning, well, I talked about liberty and equality. Why, were those brand new ideas that I, Abraham Lincoln, just pulled out of my hat that day in 1863? Oh, what did I say? I said 77 years ago. That's just a fancy way of saying 87 years ago. Well, 87 years before 1863 was the year 1776, a very important year in our nation's history. Well, that was the year that old Tom Jefferson wrote a document in Philadelphia, very important to our country. Remember what that was called? The Declaration of Independence, which says in part, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So there you have it, right there in that Declaration of Independence. Liberty and equality, two great foundational principles to our nation. Well, there were things that made us different from England, from whence the people have come. And England, of course, well, we won't go into all the details there. Liberty and equality. And yet, well, you surely know that not all people living in our country in 1776 enjoyed that liberty and that equality. One group of people in particular was denied these things. Who were those people? Slaves. The slaves brought here from Africa in chains. Why, they were not free. They were not equal. So as it was, when our country began, we had this curious situation. On the one hand, this wonderful new country, dedicated to liberty and equality, democracy, and yet at the same time, the institution of human slavery, localized primarily in the southern states by that time. So as it was, when the 13 colonies spoke of coming together to form a more perfect union, why, this issue of slavery got in the way a little bit. Well, not a little bit, quite a bit, in fact. Well, what we needed was a compromise.
If you enjoyed this video, please like the video and subscribe to the Stickney-Forest View Public Library's YouTube channel. Also, like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. The Stickney-Forest View Public Library District, where great things happen.